Good day, everyone. Welcome to our virtual class in Social Studies, grade 8A and 8B students. Your teacher here, Miss Michelle Joy. This video is made especially for the students who weren't able to join our virtual class when we had our discussion today. Okay, class, before we proceed with our discussion for today, let's have a short recap of the last topics that we have discussed before our midterm assessment. Number one, labor laws in Thailand. So we have discussed different Thai labor contracts in Thailand. And number two, who else could be affected by laws? In here, we have discussed about the leash law or laws that are needed to be followed by people who want to have pets inside their house. Objectives of the lesson for today. Number one, students must be able to know the history of money. And number two, students must be able to know where the first use of money took place. Now, class, before we proceed with our lesson, let us read first the words to learn that we will be encountering in our next slides. For our topics today, we are going to study about the history of money and, of course, the first use of money. Please repeat after me so you can still practice your reading skills and your speaking skills even if you're just at home. Are you ready now? Let's start reading. Number one, money. Number two, coin. Number three, banknote. Number four, ancient. And number five, ornaments. Now, class, let us discuss these words one by one. What is money? Money is any commodity or token that is generally accepted as the means of payment. Like if you're going to buy something, of course, you have to pay a certain amount in exchange to that product. Next, a means of payment is a method of settling a debt. If you want to pay your loan or if you borrowed something to someone, then you can pay it through cash or through money. Next, coin. So class, these are different coins in Thailand. So we have here 10 baht, 5 baht, 2 baht, 1 baht. We also have 50 satang, 25 satang, 10 satang, 5 satang, and 1 satang. Next word, banknote. So class, these are different banknotes in Thailand. We have here 20, 50, and 100. We also have 500 baht and 1,000 baht. And these banknotes came to different sizes. The smaller size means the smallest value. The largest size means the largest value. Next, we have here ancient. Ancient means belonging to a period of history that is thousands of years in the past. And the last word that we have, ornaments. So class, these are different ornaments used as money during the ancient time. So number one here is shell. Number two, shell again, or cowrie shells, used in Asia, Africa, and Oceania. Number three, used by legions, made up of gold and silver. Also number four. Number five, 6, 7, 8, 9 are examples of coins made in India. As you can see, there are square holes in it, in which you can put the string so it's easier for you to carry those coins. We also have here paper notes or bank notes in number 10, 12, and 13. Number 14, it is the green money that was first used as paper money in America. And number 11 class, it is an example of the Egyptian and Mesopotamian ornaments that is made up of silver that they use as money during the ancient times. So again, class, let us read the 5 words to learn that we will be encountering. Money, coin, banknote, ancient, and ornaments.
The evolution of money. Thousands of years ago, before money existed, humans relied on a system of barter. If you were a farmer, leftover crops could be traded for clothes from the tailor or beer from the brewer. In ancient China, instead of breaking their backs carrying hundreds of items around with them, people began to carry small tokens that represented the items they wanted to trade. Eventually, these tokens were replaced with abstract circles that could represent any item. According to writings from the time, early Roman soldiers were paid in salt, which is where we get the word salary. The first coins we'd recognise today were issued in Lydia, now called Turkey, in about 600 BC. They were made of electrum, a naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver, and made King Croesus extremely wealthy. Today, people still use the phrase rich as Croesus. Paper money was first developed by the Chinese in around 700 AD, just after they invented woodblock printing. They called it flying cash, as it had a tendency to be carried away by the wind. When Marco Polo visited China in the 1200s, he brought the idea of paper money back to Europe with him, where, at the time, the florin had become an international coin accepted all across the continent. When the British Empire colonised America, the government restricted the colonists from minting currency, so they wouldn't be able to declare independence. We now know that this was a flawless plan. Unperturbed, the colonists gathered any foreign currency they could get their hands on to use instead. Particularly popular was the large silver Spanish dollar, which was known as a piece of 8 because it was worth 8 reals. As it was made of silver, a soft metal, when someone needed change, you could literally cut it into pieces. Paper money wouldn't see widespread adoption in the West until the mid-1600s, when banks started issuing notes that promised to pay the bearer on demand a sum of gold. Merchants found it much simpler to just trade the notes with each other, rather than lugging around large amounts of unwieldy metal. During the American Civil War, both sides issued huge amounts of government-backed paper currency to fund the war, as there wasn't enough gold. Union currency became known as greenbacks, thanks to the green ink printed on the reverse side. It's a colour we still associate with money today. In 1946, the world's first charge card, creatively named the Charge It, was introduced. It was limited compared to modern credit cards, but proved such a useful idea it would lead to the Bank Americard, now known as Visa, and MasterCard. Money finally entered the digital age in the 1980s with the introduction of automatic teller machines, or cash machines to me and you, personal identification numbers, and debit cards. As people began surfing the World Wide Web, electronic money services emerged, giving customers an alternative to traditional banks. In more recent times, a new phenomenon has evolved: cryptocurrency. You may know it better as Bitcoin. The type of currency is decentralized, meaning it is stored across the entire internet and is owned by no one. So, it seems we've come a long way from trading goats for wood. While they once dominated, banks are becoming increasingly less important to our daily finances. We started with a cashless society, and with the rise of chip and PIN and contactless payment, cash is on the decline. What does the future hold? Will we cease trading in physical money and go completely digital? Or will we come up with an even stranger way of buying the things we want?
Now, class, let us proceed to discussing the history of money. So, first one, class, the Lydians. The Lydians, who lived in what is now Western Turkey, made the first coins during the 600 BC. Coins were made of a mixture of gold and silver, stamped with pictures of their gods or emperors. The Chinese. The Chinese made coins around the same time as the Lydians. Their coins were made of bronze and often had holes in them so that they can be carried on a string because it's easier for them and it's more convenient for them than to carry stuffs. They also began using paper banknotes printed on paper made from mulberry bark in the AD 800s. So the first paper money or banknote that Chinese people used was made from mulberry bark. Next class, let us proceed to ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. As early as 2500 BC, the people of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia were using gold and silver as money. So how, class? In the form of? The money took the form of rings, ornaments, and ingots or bars. When you say bars, class, the gold bar. Rings, we now use rings as ornaments in our body, class. And ornaments, we have bracelets and necklace. So these ornaments before were used as money in the ancient time in Egypt and Mesopotamia. Next, cowrie shells. So cowrie shells have been used as money throughout Asia, Africa, and Oceania. The smoother it is, the larger the value. The larger it is, the bigger the value. Next one, class, the Americans. The American colonists used Spanish silver dollar coins called pieces of 8. Each coin was divided into 8 pieces so that it could be broken to make change. So class, basically this coin is very soft so they can easily cut them according to the change they needed to give to the buyer. So this is the history of money. Class, it's time for me to give you an activity to answer for August 17th. The first question is, who made the first coins in 600 BC? The second question, what were the two composition of coins made by the legions? Number 3, when was the first use of banknotes began? Number 4, why did the Americans use pieces of 8 as their money? And the last question, where were the cowrie shells had been used as money? Class, if you have any question about our discussion today, you can always send me a message in my personal line account. Okay, class, if you don't have any question, it's time for us to say goodbye. Or if you have any question, you can always send me a message in our Google Classroom account privately, or you can send me a message in my line account, or you can directly call me in my private line account. So I'll see you again, class, on Friday. Stay safe, everyone. Stay at home. Thank you very much.